Good morning to everybody. Today we are going to study the array of structures. Before going to the array of structures, first we'll see the what is the general syntax of the structure. So what is the general structure of the general form of the structure? Syntax is struct keyword, and we have to specify the tag name, and we have to write the members name or data type, variable name, semicolon, data type, variable, like we can be declare the multiple members, and it will be end with the semicolon. This is the general structure of the syntax. What is the syntax for the structure? We have to give the struct. Next, tag name, structure tag name, open curly braces, closed curly braces. Within the curly braces, we have to specify we are going to give the member names, and it will be terminated with the semicolon that gives the ends of the structure. This is the general syntax. Now we are going to see the array of structures. So in the array of structures, what is the why we are going to study the array of structures? For example, if we want to store the data of 5 students, we can store it by using the structure as given below. We are going to declare the structure student with the 3 fields or members: his name, ID, and marks. So name as a character array, ID as a integer data type, marks as a float data type. Now here I'm going to declare for example, here I'm going to take the only 3 students information. Struct student S1, S2, S3. So what is the S1, S2, and S3? These are the structure variables. These are called the structure variables. And I'm going to take the one dummy variable. Here, print the name, ID, and the marks of student 1. We are going to use the scanf function to read the data. So for reading the name, we are going to use a %s format specifier, %ld for the integer data type, %lf for the float data type. So to read the data into the S1 variable, we are going to give S1 dot name, comma, S1 dot ID, comma, S1 dot marks. Next, we are going to read the just a dummy variable. Next, enter the name, ID, and marks of the second student. We are going to read the values. Third student values. We are going to give the scan of %ld, S3 dot sname, comma, S3 dot ID, comma, S3 dot marks. Now here I'm going to printing the details. I'm going to print the student name, student ID, and marks. That is the first student information. Second student information, we are going to print the name, his ID, and marks. This is the third student information. So like we are going to store declare the 3 variables. We are going to read the data from the keyboard, and we are going to print his information. It's a simple. If it is a 3 variables, okay. Suppose we are going to enter the name. Yes, I will enter the name as first student as Krishna, and his ID is 90 and marks as a 90. Enter the second student, his name is Murali. Like I'm going to enter the values are repeated. Okay. So simply I'm going to read the 3 student information and I'm going to print. So in the above program, we have stored the data of 3 students in the structure. Okay. For example, if we want to store the 20 students information, so how do we are going to store the 20 students information? So we have to declare the 20 different structure variables and store them one by one. Okay. So this will always be a tough, since we will have to declare a variable every time we add a student. Remembering the name of the all variables is also very tricky task. However, C enables us to declare an array of structures by using which we can avoid declaring the different structure variables. Instead, we can make a collection of containing all the structures that store the information of different entities. So what is an array? Array is a collection of similar data types only. So here in the array of structure, we are going to store the, for example, 20 students information. Instead of declaring the 20 variables S1, S2, S like, instead of that one, we are going to declare a one structure array. So how to declare a structure array? How to declare a normal integer array of size 20? We have to specify int name of the array as A, and we have to specify the 20 size. In the similar fashion, if you want to store the 20 students information, we are going to size of the array as 20, and I'm going to take in name of the array as yes, and what type of information we are going to store. In the previous example, I was taken as an integer array, but here it is not an integer array, it is a struct student array. So how do we are going to declare this one? Struct student s of 20. Now we can be store the 20 student information. So the indexes will be starts from the 0 onwards. So s of 0 indicates that is the first student information. S of 1, we are going to get the second student information. S of 19, we are going to get the 20th student information. Like we'll see the example. So what is an array of structures in C? An array of structures in C can be defined as the collection of multiple structure variables where each variable contains information about different entities. The array of structures in C are used to store information about multiple entities of different data types. The array of structures is also known as the collection of structures. So it's here I'm taking as an example employee information. I'm going to take as a employee. You have the employee ID, employee name, and a salary. So employee ID here I was taken as a 4 bytes. Some systems they are going to allocate the 4 bytes. Here actually we are going to take in our systems we are going to take as only 2 bytes of memory. But here is the 4 bytes of memory. We are going to assume this is the 2 bytes of memory. And the next to 5 bytes of here it is a name we are going to take as a 10 bytes and a float as a salary 4 bytes. Now here, so total how much memory is required? So 2 bytes, here is 10 plus 2, 12 plus 4, 16 bytes of memory. Actually we are going to take as a 16 bytes of memory. Suppose if you want to 2 employees information, 2 into 16 we are going to get the 32 of bytes of memory. Now here, this is the entire EMP array. This is the EMP of 0. This is the EMP of 0. So here we are going to get that this is the EMP of 0. This is the EMP of 1. So if you are going to get the EMP of 0, this structure we are going to get. From this structure, if you want to access the ID, we are going to specify emp of 0 dot id. We are going to get this information. If you want to get the first employee information, we are going to write emp of 1 dot name. We are going to get this information. If I want to get the next salary, emp, we have to specify the index as a 0 dot salary. So we are going to get first employee salary. Suppose if you want second employee salary, how we are going to get? We have to specify the name of the array emp, and what is the index position? Subscript as a 1, emp of 1 dot salary. So we are going to get the second employee salary. If you want to know the second employee ID, we have to specify emp 1 dot emp of index. We have to specify dot id. So we are going to get the second employee ID. So this is the array of structure. Just I'm going to take as only 2 examples shown here. I'm going to take in. Just I'm going to take as a 2 employees information only. So let's say an example of an array of structure that stores the information about 5 students, and we are going to print. So the structure of the student is, I'm going to store his roll number and name only. Just I'm going to take as a roll number and name. What is the name of the structure here? I was taken as a student. Name of the structure as a student. And what are its members? Roll number and name. Roll number as integer data type, name as a character array. We have to specify the just taken as a 10 bytes. Now in the now I'm going to create an array, student type array. What is the name of the array? Here I'm going to take as a st. I'm going to take as a name of the array as a st. And how many elements we are going to store? I'm going to store the 5 students information. So how we are going to declare an array? Name of the array is st. What is the size of the array? 5. That means I want to store the 5 students information. So this array is what type of array? It is a struct student. So we are going to store the student data information, student data type. Now enter records of the 5 students. So we are going to use a for loop for I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, open curly braces. So here I'm going to give the printf enter roll number, scanf %ld, comma, address of st of I, roll number. So we are going to read the first student roll number, and I'm going to read the name that will be stored at the st of I. What is I value here? It is a 0. st of 0 name, the value will be stored. We are going to repeat this process until read the 5 student information. After reading the 5 students information, we are going to print the information about the list. So we are going to just I'm going to print the roll number and his name. How we are going to get the roll number? %ld st of I of 0. When the I value is 0, we are going to get the student of 0 dot roll number. So we are going to get the first student roll number. st of I, what is I value? 0. st of 0 dot name, we are going to get the first student name. After this one, then I will be increments. What is I value? 1. 1 less than 5 as condition satisfied enters into the loop, and we are going to print the second student information. When the I value is 0, it will be substitutes st of 1 and roll number, st of 1 name print. Then I increments. What is I value? 2. 2 less than 5. Condition is satisfied. As condition is satisfied enters into the loop, we are going to print the third student information. That is st of 2 roll number, st of 2 of name. After this one, then I will be increments. What is I value? 3. We are going to print the fourth student information. Then I value increments 4. 4 less than 5 as condition satisfied enters into the loop. We are going to print the fifth student information. That is st of 4. I value is 4. st of 4 dot roll number. We are going to get the fifth student roll number and fifth student name. Then I plus plus. What is I value? 5. 5 less than 5. Condition is true or false? Condition is false. So then we are going to exit from this loop and will be terminate the program. Now here, so this is the output. If we are going to run this program, we are going to this one. First enter the records. How many records you want to enter? 5 students. I'm going to enter the first student number, roll number 1, his name as Sri. I'm going to enter the roll number 2, name as Krishna. Third student name number 3, name as Murali. Fourth student number 4, name is Partha. Fifth student roll number 5 and sorry. We are going to enter this one. We are going to enter this data. Then we are going to get the output like this. So this is the array of structures. Now here it's not required to remember the 5 student variable names. So when we are going to create an array, it's a very easy to access the values. Instead of declaring the 5 variables, just we are going to declare an array and we can easily access the values by using the array subscript, that is the index. By using the index, we are going to get the values.